Don't forget to follow The Meticulous Manicurist on your social media sites and click that subscribe button to know when I upload the next video. While I get started doing this pedicure, I want to talk to you about diabetic feet. I get a lot of questions about diabetic pedicure procedures. There are not any different steps to perform for someone who is diabetic. Most people won't even tell you they're diabetic. But this client, my husband, is diabetic. You should ask your client if they are and if it's well controlled, because people who are diabetic have less blood flow to their extremities. So if they get an injury like a small cut on the toe, it takes longer to heal. Additional problems can occur if they also have neuropathy in their feet and they can't feel the pain from a cut. If that goes untreated, it could get infected and they could have a problem getting it to heal because of the blood flow. I clean my pedicure tub after every client with a hospital grade disinfectant to make sure no one is at risk for being exposed to bacteria, and you should also do that. This pedicure is an express pedicure. It's a version of my regular pedicure, but during an express pedicure we do not apply the callus eliminator to the bottom of the feet because we aren't going to be filing the bottom of the feet or the heels. So this is his toe that we got out ingrown stuff last time. And I'm gonna do the technique where we cut across this way and then work backwards. Oh, I love those pants. Come in here. Those are right up my alley.
Love those pants.
Oh my god, I love those pants.
Oh, those pants are awesome.
I can't believe they fit.
I love them. I used to have some that...
And they're like the sturdy, like real pants.
They were like light blue.
I know, right?
Back in like 1986.
I love it.
I'm using a 1/2 inch acrylic nipper to cut the toenails. The link where you can find similar items to purchase will be in the description. When it looks like the cuticle area has absorbed all of the cuticle remover into the skin, it's time to apply a second coat of cuticle remover. I know it's cold, isn't it? Now, another thing people ask a lot of questions about is the direction in which you file the nail. As long as you're using very light pressure, it does not matter if you go back and forth on the nail plate, on the free edge of the nail. I have a video in which I show examples and discuss everything of why it doesn't matter, so you can look that up in my videos list. Don't be afraid to use your nail file to file the ends of the toes to get off any bits of dead skin on the tip of the toe. And also don't be afraid to push the other toes out of your way so you can file the free edge easily. Tickle, tickle, tickle.
So did you post that nails one last night, or do you have...
It's scheduled for February
So you have a few that are already in the pipeline.
Yeah.
At least it's not as bad as it was last time.
What?
You don't have so much stuff stuck under there.
There's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of stuff.
That was not a lot of stuff. You don't remember how much was under there last time?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that's not a lot of stuff.
Okay, well, maybe from your perspective. From my perspective, there's a certain amount of stuff.
I think my
That's
second
expected.
favorite is I shouldn't be wearing jewelry either.
Shouldn't be
I'm like,
So funny.
So my husband, the jokester, throws in a little bit of shouldn't you be wearing gloves joke. So let's talk about that for a second. I don't know what people worry about so much of why I'm not wearing gloves. So number one, gloves are protect the nail technician from catching a nail disease or disorder from a client. I'm not going to give a client a pedicure if they have a condition that they can pass on to me, or why would I risk passing that on to my next client? People spread nail diseases and disorders from not caring if someone else has a condition and not cleaning their tools. Tools and equipment are what spread nail disease and disorder, not the hands. And number three, if you're exposed to bloodborne pathogens, you should put on gloves, but no one is bleeding, so no gloves, no big deal.
Hey, Kate. Can you tell me what time Janelle's supposed to be here so I can text her?
She's coming in earlier to get
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
How'd Mary's perm turn out?
Oh, she was wet. She didn't dry it. I'm sure it turned out fine.
So you didn't see it dry, you only saw it wet.
Yeah. She didn't dry it. She just towel dried it and went about her business.
Can't wait to see it.
She already had it before.
I know that. Alright, you can put that foot back in the water. Why are you so jumpy today, honey?
It's just
And Amy's here early.
Oh.
No rush. I got plenty of beer.
Hi, Amy. Okay, yeah, I won't be long.
Now I see why she's busy.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes even I have to get my toes done. Look how nasty they are.
He
That's
needs
talent. That's a full-time job there.
he needs a
Damn.
little maintenance.
I tell her, look, I ain't cutting them. That's your job.
Alright, so let me know. Just text me or whatever. I gotta study for my boards. I'll just sit here and do that.
Okay.
No rush.
Yeah, I'll be like maybe 15 minutes, Amy.
Now you can see how this second toe, it looks a little bit crazy compared to the other toes. Chances are if somebody comes in with a toe that's really curled like this, that they can have a lot of cuticle underneath the toenail that's attached to the nail plate. So be really careful and always look under the toenail like I did before I clipped it to make sure that you're not going to clip any skin, because especially with a diabetic, that's what you want to make sure of. You especially want to make sure that you never ever nick a diabetic's toes.
I take it back. This side does have a lot of your big toe. Could you tip your knee to that center a little bit? Well, I just meant your knee. Don't move your foot. Your foot was fine. There. Good.
So clients get really, really comfortable when they're getting their pedicure, and their knees will fall out to the sides, and when their knee falls out to the side, their foot gets in the wrong position. You can't keep their toenails flat. So always, if you notice that, you notice their toes are in the wrong position for you to do your job, ask them to bring their knee back to the center.
Is this one hitting the top of your shoe?
I don't know.
It doesn't bother you?
So who wants to take a guess at what all of this gunk is made up of? Well, I'll tell you. It's made up of dead skin cells, keratin, perspiration, sebum, lint, and soap bubbles from the shower.
Well, I just shoved that further in there. Dang it. What is that stuck to?
Okay,
Oh, you forgot your nail stuff? That's okay. Yeah.
My bad.
What board are you studying for?
I gotta be taking my
Oh.
Yay. I know.
How many years do you have to retake it?
Every 10.
Oh my gosh. It's been 10 years? Well, it's been, yeah.
I know.
Wow.
This is my third time taking it. They were every 6, and now I'll finish this one, and I have to take over time and change it to every 10, which is what they do for positions. So I figure I'd take it one more time after this, because I'm not taking it when I'm 70.
No.
I'm probably too old to get to the place to take it on the computer. I wouldn't know how to get there.
Right?
I mean, I'll be like, what the hell?
We'll have to call an Uber.
I will. Yeah. I'm like, I'll just, this time, one more time, and then I'm done.
Time for retirement.
Yeah. I think technically 49 and 59 and 69. I'm not taking them at 70.
No. No, no,
I
no.
better have all our money saved up good.
That's right.
At some point, shouldn't it just be second nature and be like, all right.
You know what the thing is though, it's broad spectrum boards, it's all internal medicine. So I specialize in cardiology, which is a lot of internal medicine, but I don't do peds, I don't do
Right,
derm.
yeah, and they're gonna ask you all
They're
that
gonna ask
shit.
me about orthopedic fractures.
Right,
You know.
right,
Show me a picture, I guess I can see a fracture, I don't know.
right.
You know, so, but they ask you all that, all the anemias and the oncology and the, I mean, it's not stuff I do every day.
Right.
I don't know what the people do that actually specialize in derm.
Remember when you're filing the free edge of the nail plate that you're applying light pressure in toward the edge of the nail, not down onto the skin. If you press downwards and you file back and forth, you're going to slice their skin. So you want to be very careful that you don't have the nail file pressed into their skin, that it's pressing forward onto the free edge. Now this little area that I keep messing with, as his toenail grew up and onto the fleshy part of his toe, it started to try to create a new nail groove. And when a toenail presses into that fleshy part of the skin doesn't like it, so it starts to create a callus as it cuts its way into that skin. Now if you pull too much of that buildup out, you can cause it to be raw, because then there's like no protection. It's almost like peeling off a scab. So go easy, ask them if it's uncomfortable. You don't want to peel all of it out, but you do want to get those buildup of layers out of there.
I can't, if I can see. I'm old, I won't be able to see it then. I don't know, what's going on?
Right. Burn it. Burn it
fine.
out.
I mean,
biopsy
here's the liquid
that.
nitro, we'll just get rid of it this way. I mean, I usually have an idea, it might not be the right one, but I'll...
Alright, you can put that foot back in.
Right.
With an answer, you just give me a question, I'll give you an answer. So anyway,
Okay, I'll take
Should be done rubbing my feet in just a few minutes.
yeah, you just make sure you give them all some
Yeah.
This is taking away from the experience.
Sorry. See your foot? You're too tall, honey. Too tall.
You can see it.
Good, good, good. This will be a foot and leg massage on a big old
Pasty
man
white leg.
foot. Big old pasty white man foot and leg.
Make sure you apply enough lotion so
Definitely
your
need a
movements are smooth and don't skip across the skin. First, I'm going to do some effleurage, which is gentle sliding of the hands over the skin while applying light pressure. It stimulates the nervous system and has a positive influence on the circulation. Your hands can get kind of fatigued when you're massaging the foot and legs, so I try to keep my fingers and my thumb kind of hooked around the leg so you can actually use a squeezing movement instead of pressing. When you're only pressing with your fingers, it really makes your hand tired and your forearm tired, but when you can use your thumb to actually squeeze those fingers into the side of the leg and use your thumb at the same time, it's a lot easier to manipulate the skin and the muscles. If the back of my hand is not resting on the cushion, then I have my elbow resting on my leg. To work on the arch in the bottom of the foot, we're going to transition the heel of his foot to our knee. You can then raise your heel up and down to get the foot where you need it. You want to make sure you're using all of your hand, not just your fingers to give the massage. You're going to use the palm
Can
of
you
your
scoot your booty back
hand,
a tiny bit?
the top and the bottom of your metacarpals. Keep continuous contact, even pressure, and a rhythmic routine for the best result.
Look at that thing on click.
Yes, that is lactic acid.
Who's on the top?
Oh, that thing on the top of your foot? Yeah. Same thing. It's a little knot. You can get little calcifications on your tendons. It's probably from jumping during basketball when you're up on your toes.
While you work in the arch area, apply pressure with your thumb while you're applying pressure on the top of the foot with your other fingers. You may feel a lot of tiny crunchy bumps in the arch, and this is a buildup of lactic acid caused by stress and strain that need to be broken up so the body can flush it out.
I like this part the best when you squeeze your heel. I think that feels really good.
I like it up a little bit further.
Up here?
Well, just past the heel. Like right in,
Right here.
yeah, right in there.
And the very best was the arch.
And the toes.
The last step in the foot massage process is always massaging each of the toes before you go to the other foot.
Bend your knee. Can you pull up that pant leg a tiny bit? Did you make her standing through Tuesdays?
I think so. This is not
probably.
Tuesday.
Remember, because she had to reschedule her last one. It was like right before Christmas, I think. You can't think when I'm rubbing your feet.
You need some clearance to get your hand under the leg and under the Achilles tendon area. You do not want to hold the leg up with your arm. This puts too much strain on your upper back. So hold the heel in your opposite hand and rest the back of your hand on the cushion.
Boy, your legs are soaking up this lotion today.
Sorry I had to remove the original audio from this portion of the pedicure because once I turned off the pedicure jets, you could hear some music in the background playing and YouTube won't let you have that in your YouTube videos. So there's just a little section here that's going to be silent.
There you go, my dear. Put your feet just like that so we can take a... All right, honey.
Here are some other great videos for you to check out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.